Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel if you're joining me for a second time, or fourth, fifth, eighth, whatever. Welcome, nice to have you, nice to see you. Hope everyone's had a fabulous week. I can't remember what I would have done last week. Was last week cinnamon brown? I think so. Yeah, last week was cinnamon brown. How was that? I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I like that case. I've got some good ones coming up. I've got some good ones that I've kind of stockpiled. I've just filled in my diary for the next 4 weeks of the cases and what dates they will be published. I'm also going to be releasing a special for Father's Day. At the moment, I'm unsure if I will be releasing 2 over that weekend or just 1. I am in the process of writing 2 scripts for it, but I'm not a massive fan of either of them, if I'm totally honest. And I do seem to be struggling to find information, so I'm unsure whether it'll be 1 or 2, and I won't speak to you again until Father's Day now. I am still batch filming, so this will be released... When will this be released? On the 3rd? So this will be released on the 10th. I'm currently filming this on the 12th of the month previous. So I am massively into batch filming at the moment because I want to get as much done as possible. I want to be able to stay on top of scripts. I want to be able to stay within my deadlines that I'm setting for myself. So we're seeing how this goes. Like, my positive thought of the day today is going to be that I'm getting a haircut tomorrow, but you're not going to see it for a month. How have I completed a move goal? I'm sat down. So today I'm going to be covering the case of the murder of Lauren Giddings, which again is one I saw on social media, mainly because of the media coverage of the killer. I've also made some new playlists as well that are all split into different things. So this will be... What playlist will this be in? Liar in the Spotlight. This will be in Liar in the Spotlight, which I think is a very good name, if I do say so myself. So if you haven't already, go and check out my new playlist. I think they're great. If you have any suggestions for anything, again, please let me know. If you could also like and subscribe, I would massively, massively appreciate that. I don't have any more housekeeping, so let's get on with today's case. Lauren Teresa Giddings was born on April 18th, 1984 in Maryland. She was raised into a beautiful, loving, tight-knit Catholic family. Lauren was known for her intelligence, her drive, and her radiant personality, which is such a beautiful thing to be known for. She was one of 3 daughters, and she always stood out as the one who would go on to make a difference, which again, how beautiful is that? Is there any need to sneeze that loud? She attended Agnes Scott College in Decatur in Georgia, where she studied political science as she had aspired to become a lawyer. She was said to have a passion for justice, and she ended up going to a law school. She had a goal of becoming a public defender, which I just think shows what a nice person she was. She wasn't trying to go into being a lawyer for the money or anything like that. She was going in to help ordinary people who couldn't necessarily afford a really fancy attorney. Lauren had a very close circle of friends, as well as a loving boyfriend named David, who actually lived out of state. She was described by these friends as loving, smart, athletic, and just the kind of person that lit up a room. If anyone were to take a look at Lauren's life from the outside, you'd just say it was just full of hope and promise, and it just seemed like everything was going her way. So Lauren is 27 on the 26th of June 2011. This is just days after Lauren has taken the bar exam, and her friends and family are becoming increasingly worried about Lauren because she's not answering texts, and this is not like her at all. So on Wednesday the 29th of June, Lauren's sister receives a phone call from one of Lauren's friends, and her friend is concerned because she hasn't heard from Lauren, so she's just checking in to see if she's heard anything from her, which she hasn't. So her sister gets off the phone with the friend and calls her mum and says, "Hey, have you heard from Lauren?" And she also hasn't heard anything. All 3 of them keep trying to call Lauren, and it just keeps going straight to voicemail. Lauren's sister then rings Lauren's best friend from the university to see if she's heard anything from her, and again, she still hasn't heard anything from her either. So the next day on June 30th, they call the police and report Lauren as missing. The authorities arrive and they let themselves into Lauren's apartment. She lives on the 2nd floor of like an apartment complex, and it's literally over the road from school, so she could walk to school. Once they get in there, everything just looks normal. There's no sign of forced entry. Her phone, her keys, her wallet, everything's on the side. It's like she just vanished. One thing was really throwing everyone off, and that was that Lauren's front door had been locked from the inside. So her friend Ashley, Ashley's boyfriend, Lauren's ex-boyfriend, and their neighbour Stephen all go round and start searching the apartment and surrounding areas looking for Lauren. The only thing they managed to find is a receipt that's dated 4 days prior. The detective who's been assigned to the case is immediately convinced that foul play is involved in this, because there was no reason for Lauren to go missing. There was no part of him that thought Lauren had willingly gone missing. She was due to move in with her boyfriend that weekend. Her boyfriend who lived out of state, she was moving to live with him that weekend. So why would she just vanish? She was just done her bar exam, she was about to graduate, she just had everything falling into place for her. So why would she just go? Part of the reason that Lauren was moving as well was that she felt like someone was stalking her. Local media quickly picked up the story. It was a beautiful young woman who seemed to have just vanished. So they were like, yeah, but let's get straight down to that apartment complex and start interviewing people. Unfortunately, on June 30th, the police and detectives made an absolutely awful discovery. In a trash bin just outside the complex, they found a torso. It was just a torso, obviously a dismembered torso, and it was wrapped in plastic, and DNA would later confirm that it was Lauren's. After this discovery, the forensics team went back into her apartment and checked her bathroom with luminol, and it absolutely lit up. Upsettingly, the rest of Lauren's remains were never found, and if it hadn't been for this one discovery, they never would have found Lauren, and they never would have found what happened to Lauren. It seems that the killer had dumped different parts of Lauren in different trash cans on campus, and they'd all been taken to landfill and lost, and it was just this one that by chance hadn't been taken that day. Police did extensive searches on landfills, but they never found anything. By this point, when they found the torso, police had already taken all of her friends to the police station to take statements off all of them. They quickly rule out the ex-boyfriend and the current boyfriend. They speak to everyone and find out when's the last time they'd seen her, and it was the maintenance man, Stephen, who I believe had seen her last, and he'd seen her about 4 days ago. Stephen was the maintenance man, but he was also her neighbour. He was one of the people who was looking for her previously. I think he lived like just across the hall. Interviews finished, and all of them were transferred back to where they'd kind of got them from, which was outside Lauren's apartment. And when they got there was media everywhere, and still none of them were any of the wiser that Lauren's torso had been found. I don't think it'd been confirmed that it was Lauren's at this point, but a torso had been found. I don't believe anyone else gives an interview, but Stephen, the neighbour / maintenance man, is eager to give an interview. So the news camera captures Stephen giving quite a strange and uncomfortable to watch interview. It's even more uncomfortable to watch now, but even if you didn't know what happened, it's very bizarre.
Just trying to find out where she is at this point. I mean, no one has seen her since Saturday. I mean, the last time anyone heard from her was an email that she sent out, and no one's heard from her since.
What kind of person was she? I mean, what did you see her?
I mean, she's as nice as can be. I mean, very personable, very much a people person.
Do you know any enemies she might have had, somebody that might want to hurt her?
No, we just don't know where she is.
What about in the parking lot area? I know they've been doing a lot of, I think that's where they had recovered the body or whatever they recovered from there.
Body?
Had you seen anything there? Had you seen anything there? I mean, we don't know if this is the same person. You know what I mean? Like, they took out a body there earlier. We don't know if it's the same person or not. So that's why we're trying to ask people if they know who lived there. Are you okay, sir?
I think I need to sit down.
Okay.
He's kind of rambling, and then he starts crying and hyperventilating. He sounds a bit shaky. When he finds out, you see it the moment he finds out that this torso has been found, and he says, I need to sit down. And you kind of see the blood drain from his face. Honestly, I don't think he played it awfully. He could have played it a lot worse. I've seen a lot of interviews with people that you've then found out are the killers, and his isn't the worst. But police obviously saw this and just thought, we need to look a bit deeper into this guy. This isn't right. So Stephen's taken back down to the police station, and his second interview with police is bizarre. In his first interview, he's very forthcoming. He's eager to help, give information, try and find Lauren. And in this one, it's like he's completely shut off. Like, it's like he's a different person. It's very odd. He's not moving. He's very monotone. He's barely answering. It's like he's not there. Like, he's not there. And considering a few hours ago he was very cooperative and eager and chatty and happy to help, it's strange.
All right. I just gotta ask you a few more questions.
Okay.
You came down earlier tonight, me and you talked, all right. You don't have any weapons on you, do you?
No.
That's just you are. What's wrong? You know I'm Detective Patterson, right?
Yes.
Do you remember, put your hands up here, you remember us talking earlier tonight, right?
Yes.
You remember me earlier in the day?
Yes.
When we came down here and talked a little bit and then we left? About this girl right here. You know her?
Yes.
Who is that?
Lauren Giddings.
Does she live next door to you?
Yes.
When's the last time you seen her?
2 or 3 weeks ago.
Okay. Was you friends with Lauren?
Yes.
Look at me when you talk to me, son. Okay?
The investigation quickly zeroed in on Stephen, and he was known to be eccentric, but no one would have classed him as dangerous by any stretch. After all, he was Lauren's classmate, he was the maintenance man, he was her neighbour, and he was someone she trusted. When police checked through Lauren's things, they checked her laptop, and the last email she'd sent to her boyfriend, David, had expressed that how uncomfortable she felt. She felt like someone was watching her. She thought someone had been in her apartment. She thought someone had broke into her apartment while she was sleeping, and I think that's why she was so eager to move to him, because she was scared. So while Stephen's being interviewed, the police are searching his apartment and they find some weird shit. I'm not gonna lie, they find some weird shit. He had previously told police that he was saving himself for marriage, but they did find a drawer full of condoms. Like a whole drawer full of condoms, which is bizarre. It's just bizarre. He also told police that he'd stole them from other apartments that he'd broken into. So, because police wanted to keep him there, they could charge him with burglary because he admitted to that, so they could keep him. They found in his apartment he had a master key to all apartments in the building, so he could easily let himself into Lauren's apartment whenever he felt like it. They also found a sheet with blood on it. They found a pair of Lauren's underwear. They found a hacksaw with blood on it. The blade on it matched the cuts in Lauren's torso. They also found video footage on his computer that had been deleted, but obviously nothing's really ever deleted, of him spying on Lauren through her window. It was him videoing her through her windows, including the night she was killed. They found heavy pornography. They found child pornography. They found searches of murder, violence, torture, as well as how to be a serial killer and how to kill someone in their sleep. So it was quite clear that this was not just a spur of the moment thing. This was an obsession that had turned deadly, and it was absolutely premeditated. So police could now charge Stephen with the murder of Lauren. Stephen had broken into Lauren's apartment in the middle of the night, and I believe he just kind of stood watching her wearing a mask and gloves until she started stirring. And when she stirred, that is when he decided to launch his attack. During his attack, he took his own mask off. What was the point in the mask in the first place? I don't know. So Lauren absolutely knew who she was being attacked by, and she fought back as hard as she possibly could. Stephen ended up strangling Lauren to death. He then took her body into the bathtub and dismembered it into several different parts and disposed of her in various different trash cans all over campus. Like I said, this was not a moment of rage. This was not a passion thing. This was planned, it was calculated, and it was fueled by obsession. It was methodical, and it was carried out by someone who had fantasized about this for months, if not longer. When he had first met Lauren, he asked her on a date, and she politely declined and said, "I'm not interested, thank you very much, but we can still be friends." And this obviously wasn't enough for him. Stephen was arrested in July of 2011, but the case took years to put together because it needed to be absolutely bulletproof, because it was so hard to kind of prove exactly what had been done to Lauren because there was not much of a body. And they had to build a case so solid because it had to go to trial because this twat pled not guilty. In 2014, after wasting 3 years of everyone's fucking time, he changes his plea to guilty. And of course, he didn't just do this off his own back. This was part of a plea deal so he could avoid the death penalty. In a written confession, Stephen went into I guess, unnecessary detail about the night of the murder, and he was so emotionless about it. He showed no remorse, and he was kind of like a robot. He was very scary. He was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole. He won't be eligible until 2041, and even then, I hope it continues to get denied. If the police hadn't witnessed him doing that interview on TV that day, and that bin hadn't been emptied, I very much believe he would have got away with this, 100%. In February 2018, Stephen filed a petition for a new trial because he argued his rights were violated. He argued that he should have been checked by a medical before his apartment was searched, and he of course represented himself because he's that good. The judge rejected this. He says fuck off. Lauren's death absolutely shook her community, and the nation for that matter. Her family were absolutely shattered by the loss of their beautiful, intelligent, thoughtful, caring daughter. But they managed to find strength in advocacy, and they are pushing for stronger protections for students and young women. I've said this before, but I think it's so amazing that something so horrendous can happen to people and they will find a way to prevent it happening to anyone else. They will take the worst possible thing that can happen to you and try and turn it into something good and a way to memorialise that person. It's just amazing. Her friends remember her not for the way she died, but for the way she lived, with heart, drive and hope. In interviews with Lauren's friends and family, they say they forgive Stephen, not for his benefit, but for theirs, and it's not healthy to hold on to something like that, to any hate, which they are a bigger person than I. Did you know crows can hold a grudge for like 22 years? Because that is my spirit animal. I will hold a grudge until the day I die. And even then, I'll have passed it on to my children. I think what makes this story so scary is that it can be your neighbour that you trust. And it's not about the horror of it. It's about the betrayal, that someone you could see as an acquaintance or a friend can do this to you and can be plotting behind your back and you have no idea. And in this case, there's nothing Lauren could have done to make herself any safer. This fucker had a key to the apartment. It's just very scary. But that is today's case all done. It was quite a quick one actually, but I do hope you enjoyed it. I think a lot of these are just kind of a lesson, I will teach every one of you not to trust anyone, ever. A positive thought of the day. So my positive thought of the day, like I said, is my haircut tomorrow, because I haven't had a haircut in like 6 years, and I'm finally getting a haircut tomorrow because my hair is so flat and horrible and shit. So I'm finally getting a haircut. Like I say, none of you will see it for like a month. I'm sorry. I'm filming the next 3 videos right now because I go on holiday on Friday and I can edit whilst I'm away. So that should be my positive thought. That'll be next week's positive thought. That's why I'm tanned as well, because I've tanned for holiday because I don't naturally tan. But that is all from me. I did have a really good sign off and I've lost it. Make good choices. Don't trust anybody. Don't be nice to creepy people because sometimes they are actually creepy for a reason. Please look after everyone. Look after your friends. Look after your family. Look after women. Women need to look after each other because it's very, 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 very scary out there. And I mean all women, by the way, just in case anyone's unsure about that. All women. Make good choices. Don't get murdered. I'll see you next week. Love you. Bye.
What's up, darling? I'm so creep like TLC.
What's happened to Kesha?
I did. Why did I do that?
Tit. Ooh, I don't know where that was going. What the fuck am I trying to say? Which again, how beautiful is that? Is there any need to sneeze that loud? She was said to have was moving. The investor the cut. Jesus.